With a bold approach, Yakubboev employs the King's Indian defense fianchetto variation Carlsbad variation against Bersamina in this Asian Individual Chess Championships 2025 Open Round 2 match. On d4. Knight f6. Knight f3. On g6. On g3. Bishop g7. Bishop g2. King castled kingside. On c4. On d6. Knight c3. We are now in the King's Indian defense fianchetto variation Carlsbad variation. Knight c6. On d5. Threatening pawn takes c6. Knight a5 played by Bersamina. Threatening knight takes c4. On b3 played by Yakubboev. On c5. Bishop d2. On a6. Bersamina might go for. On b5. On takes b5. On takes b5 and gain a significant edge. On a4 played by Yakubboev. Bishop d7. King castled kingside. On b5. Bersamina wants to play. On takes c4. On takes c4. Knight takes c4 and sees the initiative. On takes b5 played by Yakubboev. On takes b5. On takes b5. Queen b6. Queen c2. Bishop takes b5. Rook a3. It is novelty move. Yakubboev wants to play. Queen a2. Rook a7. Knight takes b5. Queen takes b5. Rook takes a5. Rook takes a5. Queen takes a5. Queen takes b3. Queen a7 and dominate the board. Knight b7 played by Bersamina. Rook fa1. Threatening rook takes a8. Rook takes a3 played by Bersamina. Rook takes a3. Bishop d7. Bishop e1. Rook b8. Knight d2. Queen d8. Knight c4. Knight e8. Knight a4. Knight c7. Knight ab6. Knight a8. Threatening knight takes b6. Knight takes d7 played by Yakubboev. Queen takes d7. Queen a2. Threatening rook takes a8. Knight c7 played by Bersamina. Rook a7. Queen e8. Queen a4. Yakubboev wants to play. Queen c6. Queen c8. Knight b6. Queen d8. Rook takes b7 and take decisive advantage. Knight b5 played by Bersamina. Rook a6. Pause the video and find the best move for Bersamina. Knight d8 is the right idea because Knight a3. On f5. Knight takes b5. Queen takes b5. Queen takes b5. Rook takes b5. Still Bersamina is losing. Let's explore the main game. Threatening knight takes a7. Rook a6 played by Yakubboev. Yakubboev wants to play. Rook b6. Knight d4. Queen takes e8 check and increase their advantage significantly. Knight c3 is not the best move played by Bersamina. Queen takes e8 check. Rook takes e8. On e3. On f5. On f4. Knight d8. Rook a8. Rook f8. Rook a7. Threatening rook takes e7. Rook e8 played by Bersamina. Knight a5. Knight f7. Knight c6. King f8. King f2. Bishop f6. On h3. On h5. Bishop takes c3. Bishop takes c3. On e4. On takes e4. Bishop takes e4. King g7. Rook takes e7. Rook takes e7. Knight takes e7. On g5. On h4. Threatening pawn takes g5. Pawn takes f4 played by Bersamina. Knight f5 check. King g8. Pawn takes f4. Bishop g7. Bishop f3. Bishop f8. Bishop takes h5. Knight h6. Threatening knight takes f5. Knight e3 played by Yakubboev. King g7. Bishop g4. King g6. On h5 check. Think carefully what is the best move for Bersamina. King f7 is the correct move because Bishop e6 check. King e7. Knight f1. Bishop g7. King e3. King d8. Still Bersamina is losing. Let's go to the main game. On h5 check. King f6 slightly worse move played by Bersamina. Bishop e6. Stop here and find the strongest move for Bersamina. King e7 is a strong choice, since Knight f1. Bishop g7. King e3. King d8. Knight d2. Bishop f8. Still Bersamina is losing. Let's proceed to the main line. Bishop e6. Bishop g7. Think carefully what is the best move for Yakubboev. Knight f1 is the right idea because King e7. King e3. King d8. Knight d2. Bishop f8. Knight e4. Yakubboev have small advantage. Let's analyze the main game. Yakubboev intends to play Knight c4. King e7. Knight d2. Bishop g7. Knight e4. Bishop b2. King g3. Bishop c1. On f5 and secure a stronghold in the game. Bishop g7. Slightly worse move played by Bersamina. Knight c4 is not the best move played by Yakubboev. King e7. Pause the video and find the best move for Yakubboev. King e2 is the correct move because Bishop f6. King d3. Bishop g7. Knight b6. King d8. Knight c4. Yakubboev have small advantage. Let's proceed to the main line. Threatening knight takes d6. King e7 played by Bersamina. Knight d2 slightly worse move played by Yakubboev. Yakubboev is preparing to play. Knight e4. Bishop b2. King f3. Bishop a3. King g3, and increase their advantage significantly. Bishop c3 played by Bersamina. Threatening bishop takes d2. Knight e4 played by Yakubboev. Bishop d4 check. King f3. Bishop b2. On f5. Bishop e5. On f6 check. King d8. King e2. King e8. King d3. King d8. King c4. King c7. King b5. Bishop d4. On f7. Yakubboev intends to play. On promotes to queen at f8. King b7. Knight takes d6 check. King c7. Queen e7 check. King b8. Queen b7 mate, and dominate the board. Bishop g7 played by Bersamina. Knight g5. King d8. Do not rush. Can you find the strongest move for Yakubboev? Knight h7 is logical continuation as King e7. King c6. Knight takes f7. Bishop takes f7. Bishop h6. Bishop g8. Yakubboev have small advantage shifting to the main game. Yakubboev is looking to play. Bishop h3. Bishop f8. Knight e6 check. King d7. Knight takes f8 check, and increase their advantage significantly. King d8 played by Bersamina. King c6 slightly worse move played by Yakubboev. Threatening king takes d6. King e7 played by Bersamina. Knight e4. Bishop e5. Knight takes d6. Take a moment to spot the best move for Bersamina. Bishop b2 is a strong choice, since Knight e4. Bishop g7. Knight g5. Bishop e5. On d6 check. Bishop takes d6. Still Bersamina is losing. Let's analyze the main variation. Knight takes d6. Bishop takes d6 is an inaccurate played by Bersamina. On promotes to queen at f8 check. King takes f8. King takes d6. Think carefully what is the best move for Bersamina. Knight f7 check is best move here because Bishop takes f7. On c4. On takes c4. King g7. Bishop e8. King f8. Still Bersamina is losing. Shifting to the main game. King takes d6. On c4 loses position played by Bersamina. Threatening pawn takes b3. Pawn takes c4. A tough loss for Bersamina, who resigned under pressure.